Ladies and gents, welcome to Laz Vic Live. I'm your host for this evening, Laz Vic. Yes, we've started 4 whole minutes late. I super apologize to all the fans out there. We have one whole viewer right now watching. I think it's my mom. Hi, Mom. Thank you for sharing the stream. Tonight, we have a very special episode for you today on Laz Vic Live. We had a web series, an awesome web series called Dad-rahpy. And we have the stars and the creators of that show coming on for you guys. So let me know how you're doing in the chat. Say hi, say hello. Let me know if you're new here, if you're old here. Anthony's already in the chat. What's going on, Anthony? How you doing? Mom's in the chat. How are you guys? I see a few people logging in. How are you guys? Welcome to the show. I'm super excited. Holy cow. Thank you so much for the likes and the shares. Without further ado, guys, let's start this thing. Yes. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, guys. I want to welcome the stars of Dad-rahpy. Ricardo Herrera, Alexandra, Spiritual Cloud, and Jerry, Mr. Jerry Diaz. Welcome to the show. I gotta fix my chat. My chat's always messed up. What's?
No, it's too late, bro. We started.
That's it. And I didn't add your names, nothing, because I didn't have time.
We're gonna cancel the show.
That's it. We're canceling everything.
Next week.
Mara, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Guys, hi, how are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Finally made it. All the technical difficulties.
Besides almost having a heart attack, I'm fine. How you guys doing? Everything all right? Before we get started, anything to report for the week? We had a little bit of audio problems. Of course, I get text right away 1 minute in. Where's the show, Mike? Where's the show? It's not a real show. We're not on cable. I can start whenever I want.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, right
They'll still be online.
You know what? I couldn't be a father. I have no patience.
No.
I have zero patience. And that's a good way to start the show. I have no patience. I'm very selfish. And I'm very like...
You gotta accept sometimes
I have to be on time. I have to be on time. So being a father, I can imagine you have to have tons of patience. I mean, I am a single father, as you guys know.
Oh yeah, you have a cat.
I'm raising one cat. That's right. But you guys, you know, you guys must have endless... I know Rick has endless patience.
Oh.
No. I was getting annoyed with the whole audio stuff. I'm like, this doesn't happen on Zoom. We was fine on Zoom. What
Yeah.
the fuck is Discord?
That's it. You're hating on Discord now.
Word.
Then you was blaming my internet. I was like, Jerry's going through the same thing.
I will blame everything. You all right, Jerry?
I'm good. I'm trying.
Jerry's in a sauna. He's good.
Yeah, this is.
Jerry coming live from Afghanistan.
I'm in a cabin in an undisclosed location. Yes.
From a secret bunker.
This is a fucking cabin.
You got to make it to the airport, bro. I'm so glad you made it before that trip. Thanks for coming on the show, guys. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Like you see, I'm coming from inside of a box. Yeah.
So, guys, let's get started. I wanted to ask you guys. First of all, thank you for coming on, and I wanted to have you on because I wanted to share with my very large audience. Claudwig, thank you so much. I wanted to share this very awesome show that you guys created, produced, shot, wrote, and acted in yourselves, which is incredible. That's incredible. Talk about patience, first of all.
Yeah.
Talk about, you guys have patience, because that's hard to do. How long did it take you to shoot the first season? You've done one season, correct?
Yeah, one season, 8 episodes. It took us about pretty much a month and a half, I would say, to shoot it.
The shoot was 3 days.
So the shoot was 3 days.
The actual shoot was 3 days, but pre-production was more than that. Yeah.
So
Post.
you shot the entire series in 3 days?
Well, we did it on like individual weekends. So like it was a Friday, Saturday, and then I guess 2 Saturdays. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct.
But prior to that, we've been doing Zoom chats.
Oh, here comes Zoom again.
Like months. Yeah. Shout out Zoom.
Are you work for Zoom? Go ahead.
No, man, I just got used to being on their web stream, but the services. But it took.
If you want the Chinese to spy on you, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's true. Well, we already got Jerry spying on us from Afghanistan, so we're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
It took us months just to create it. So by the time that we got to the point to shoot it, everything was already mapped out and planned out. Was to do it in 3-4 days.
That's amazing, guys. So who came up with the concept? How'd you come up with this Dad-rahpy, which we're going to show on the screen in just 1 minute?
Well, I had this idea for a while. It was during the pandemic, and like right after I finished writing my third one-man show, I had this in the back of my head of this idea about dads, and I wanted to see people of color, Afro-Latino, men that I see in the community like us as dads, talk about the struggles about fatherhood and the joys, but even deeper than that, the trauma that we may have with our own fatherhood relationship, with our own fathers. I kept it in the back of my mind, and it wasn't until I went to the park with my daughter and I was looking at the empty benches, and I'm like, this is it. This is where it all clicks. I'm gonna have 2 fathers meet at a park, and they're just gonna talk about fatherhood. And then once I had that, I just started writing it up. I spoke to Jerry. Jerry was someone I always wanted to work with. We was always in the community scene, the whole comedy thing. It was always mutual respect. And then we just kept on chatting about it. And then from there, I kept on writing. There were certain elements from his life that I was like, oh, I like that. Do you mind if I use some of that? And then I kept on writing it. And then I was writing from my perspective. I was writing from all the dad's perspectives I saw. And then it just became this whole thing. And then I wanted to add my wife's perspective too a little bit in our dynamic. And after that, I just kept on writing and writing and writing, and we come to doing Zooms, and we got to a point where it's like, all right, this is it, and the rest was history.
Wow, that's amazing. So you reached out to Jerry. Jerry, how did you feel doing this web series? What was your experience? You're on mute again. What happened? Oh, you're gone. We just had you.
On now?
Oh, there you go. There you go. You're on.
Okay,
You're on.
okay, sorry. I don't know how to.
Jerry, come on, we're losing people here.
I was like, no, I'm about to lose you. I was like, who the hell is Rick when I got the call? And no, I had seen Rick around like forever. I know the whole spiritual family. I know all you guys for a long time. Like, we've always come around the circles, and you guys, we support each other's stuff, and we've always seen each other around. And when I did his podcast, the Wind and Cloud podcast, we ended up having like a really good conversation. Like the podcast was like for an hour, and we were talking for like 3 hours, and we found so many things that we had in common as far as like, and he was telling me some of the stuff that he was going through with fatherhood and just being a new dad and stuff like that. And it was just like we had a good conversation, and we always, you always end off in that in the business like, we gotta do something together.
Yeah.
We gotta do something together. And then it just so happened he's like, listen, he threw this idea at me, and I kind of jumped on the idea and kind of threw some stuff back, and then it was like, oh snap, like I think we have something here. But it was really Rick's him catapulting the whole idea of having something for dads, and I'm, if you know my stuff, I'm a big father advocate. I'm a big advocate as far as like, the perception of how fathers are seen. So I try to show those like little sides that we really don't see on my page alone in some comedy stuff. But it ended up like, yo, this is something that we can really have a nice like a complete and like kind of like thorough message.
Yeah.
And everybody's kind of doing these other kind of things, and it was a feel good show from the beginning, even from when he first mentioned it to me. Like, it was something that it was wholesome and something that everybody could relate to. And those are projects you want to jump on anyway. And it's Rick, and like he was a great writer. And the one man, I saw one of his one man shows. I don't know if it was the first or second, I can't remember right now. But I saw one of his one man shows, and I knew Alex. She was gonna be directing, and I've been wanting to work with her too. I've known her forever, so it's just like all these opportunities opened up, and it was the right project and everything, kind of like, and when you're going through something and everything's like, oh my god, we're in the middle of something like really good, and it just like, oh man, and even still, like, the response we've gotten isn't even close to anything that we thought we were gonna get. Like, it's something unexpected.
That was my next question for you. What has the response been? Have you had fathers reach out to you? What's it been like?
Well, I think I think we should all answer this question, because we all individually have a journey with that. For me, I knew it was gonna touch something because it touched us, right? Of doing it. But I didn't know it was gonna like hit like this hard, in the sense of like, I'll get messages from like, yo, I can relate to the stuff with the fatherhood. My father wasn't around. Women saying, this helped me see the perspective of a dad, and also maybe I should write a letter to my father so he could hear my side. It started touching many different people that I didn't think it was gonna touch, and at the end of the day, they was just saying, we love it, we want to see more. You guys are funny, but it hits deep. People saying that I'm crying. There's some people that saw the episodes out of order that I didn't know that it will still hit that way, and I'm like, yo, I just saw episode 6, I gotta go to 1 now, and I'm like, okay, great, because the way we wrote
that's a good sign. A lot of people do find your episodes that way. Yeah,
because the way I wrote it in a sequence of like, oh yeah, this is gonna hit as a ensemble piece, and it's gonna keep you hooked. But I'm just like, I didn't know individually. So long story short, man, the response has been amazing. It's one of the best things that I look for in a project once it's completed, because I'm like, it touched me, and see the response from other people knowing that it's changing their lives or they're learning from something. It's a blessing, because that's what I eventually want. That beats the money and the fame. I just wanted it to reach more people so it can help them just like it helped us. So yeah, Cloud.
And Cloud, I was going to ask you your thoughts on it.
With the responses, it's like he mentioned, it's been overwhelming. I've gotten like family members and people having deep conversations with one another, couples having conversations with one another of things that, wow, we didn't think about this way, or wow, I was holding a lot of stuff in, that we can have this conversation as a couple, or even children with their girls with their dads or moms, because at the end of the day, yes, it is about fatherhood, but any parent or child can relate, both sides. It's just, of course, the male perspective.
I don't have kids.
See often.
Besides the cat, I don't have kids, but I enjoyed the series. I watched every episode. I really liked it. I found that there was something in it for me. There was comedy in it for me, and there was a perspective that I'm not aware of, right? So I'm not aware of fatherhood. I'm not aware of what you guys go through, and I'm proud of you guys, because like, not all fathers stick around. Not only that, but that you're putting a light on fatherhood. And one of the episodes that really struck me is when you had shit all over you. And I thought that was really brave. I was like, well, that's real. That's like real shit, literally.
And I'm method, so it was real shit.
And Jerry's method, he had the real shit with him.
Yeah. I don't know what Rick ate that day, but yeah.
I thought, this is
making sure it's natural and it's real. And
real life, dude. Like, and I don't know that I could handle that. Like, I don't know. So, Rick, and that's my next question. Seeing that as a guy with no kids, I'm like, hell no. That ain't, I will puke. But then you become a father, right? And I'm sure that is that true? Do those feelings change, Rick? Because seriously, I can't be in the same room with someone puking. I will puke. I'm one of those people.
So, for me, like as a mother, it was natural for me, because she came out of me, and right away they put her on my chest, slimy and everything, and it didn't bother me. So like it's different for a mother. However,
Like
for
Ghostbusters.
him, like he was already planning before she was born. Like I'm gonna wear gloves. I'm gonna wear the you know the surgery,
Yeah.
the
Bro,
cape. Like he was ready.
At the end of the day,
He bought a
shit
box
is
of
shit.
gloves.
I don't give a fuck if you're my daughter or not. That shit stinks. Like, and it's nasty. So,
But he got used to it eventually. Like the first shit he did, he had gloves on, like he was ready.
no, that
And
shit
then
is
after
still
that, he got
nasty, and I
used
still
to
want to
it.
throw up sometimes
But
because
he's
she's getting older and her shit's just getting more healthy and more nastier.
And she's
it's
Oh my
like,
potty
God.
trained now. So he has to clean her ass.
yeah. So like, I don't think I still get. I'm getting better with it,
Yeah.
but I still want to puke sometimes. I don't think I'll ever go. It's shit, bro. My mom could be. Knock on one of her dying deathbed or whatever, and it's like, oh, you gotta take her in and you gotta wash her. I'm
Sure.
still gonna. I'm
Of
washing my
course,
mom's
shit is
ass.
shit.
I'm still gonna be. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like it's just shit.
Shit is shit.
For me, it's different if it's my daughter, but if it's somebody else's shit, it's just different. But my daughter is, that's how I feel about that.
Jerry,
How about
how do you
Jerry?
feel that, like with the whole shit? I don't think we ever spoke about that. With the whole shit, like you are immune to shit. Can you like?
Well, I mean, no, I'm not immune to. I mean, but it was my kid's shit. Like, you know. Here's the other part that I didn't tell you about that story. How it ended, right? What the thing was, it was like I told you, I had shit all over me, and it had run down her back, and it was like a whole thing. I had it all over me, and then hours later, I felt like I was going crazy, like I was still smelling it. Like, you know, it's like, oh, I still smell it.
You were paranoid
You know?
about it.
But you know what it was? Like my watch had like a little smidge of this shit. And I could, so every time I was talking on the phone or doing something, I could smell it. So that's why I was still smelling the shit. But no, it was one of those things like when it happened. Yeah, no, it was fine. When it happened, you know what? You don't even
Hilarious,
think
yo.
about it. Yeah, you just take like, and it happened like more than once. There was one time where like it was an eruption, and it was like
It's like The
what did she
Exorcist, I'd
eat?
imagine, right?
Right. Because it's like
Get
how,
that diet.
It's like
How-
having
right.
a little exorcist.
you have a little thing like this, and it produces like so much shit and liquids. Yeah.
Okay.
And the other one is like and then they're throwing up on you like.
And does the
you know,
head turn
first-
all the way too?
Well, if it could.
I
you could make
picture
some money.
kids' heads
Yeah,
turning. I don't know.
If you do that, you might want to return it. But like the first few months, all you do is wear baby vomit on you. Like you can't wear black.
Wow.
Because the babies, they burp up shit and they're always drooling, and so so you're literally like a cologne and vomit. You know.
And
I
that really
remember
humbles
when-
you, right?
when Choo Choo-
Yeah.
I remember when Choo Choo shitted on me,
Oh,
and I was freaking
Wow.
out.
yeah.
I remember like I was just holding her, and then she noticed it, and she says,
Okay.
"Oh, Choo Choo shit on you." And I was like, "Get her off me! Get her off me!" I was freaking out because like, and I was like, "Get the napkin! I can't look at it! I can't look at it!" Like because I was ready to throw up.
And I took my time.
She's all slow.
Oh,
Let me
you
just
shit.
acknowledge the chat real quick. Hi, Mom. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Mara. Hi, Anthony. Claudwig, a fellow
Hey.
father, says, haven't seen the show yet, but I'll have to now. Sounds good.
Yes.
Thanks, Claudwig. We're going to check out a few clips from the show so you guys can get a little taste. That's a good segue from shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
You could get a taste of
Let's
shit.
watch some shit. Watch this shit.
Let me see here. I'm going to have to do this now because I didn't have time.
All right, you could keep rubbing it in. It's fine.
Here's the channel. Dad-rahpy.
Yeah.
And let's take a look at randomly a quick clip of one of the episodes. Just so you guys can get an idea.
Funny episode.
This is the episode where Dad finds himself
out.
alone in the house, I guess after a very long time of not being alone.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
As you can see.
As you can see, this is the ritual.
Yeah. Rick's always into candles. He does candles for everything.
I love candles.
You gotta write about what you know. No, this is hilarious, dude. This is hilarious.
Someone said no sound, no sound. Where's
No
the sound?
No sound.
I can't get
Come
copywritten,
on.
guy.
Oh.
Come on, you got two people here mad now. Give the people what they want.
Sorry, Tammy and Anthony.
Let me see if I
No.
can give you sound.
Man, they yelling at you. The sound.
The sound's on. You don't hear that?
You
No,
know, apparently.
I mean, I don't hear it either
Yeah.
here.
Well, you guys aren't going to hear it. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix this
Oh,
for you guys.
okay, okay.
Send them the link.
Yeah. Can we be on the?
Let me see. Hold on.
No, I'm there with you. That's an Elmo right behind you.
So, basically, so how'd you come up with the name Dad-rahpy?
I wanted to mess around with therapy and dads, and then I was
Okay.
like, because that's what we're pretty much doing, is having a conversation and two fathers just really just reflecting. And I was like therapy. I just literally was like therapy, dads, and I was thinking all these things, and I was like, Dad-rahpy. And I was like, okay, let me put them together.
Yeah.
Because essentially that's what it is, a place where two fathers meet just to chat, and it's very therapeutic for them, and that's how Dad-rahpy came alive.
Let me see if I can pull up another clip here. But they're saying
With
they
sound or without sound?
they're saying they can't hear it. Let me see. Let's go to the newsroom. Let me know if you guys can hear that or not.
Us?
No, you guys won't be. I'm not gonna be able to hear it.
Someone else is saying they are out of sync. Damn, bro, I'm telling you, it's at this
Well,
point.
they're gonna be out of. Yeah, it happens. It's a live show. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
Yeah, I hear the claps. I hear the applause.
It's a live show. Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. Let me see. I'm trying to fix it so you guys can hear a little bit, but
It's fine.
so this one has a song in it that's awesome that I wish I could play now. You can't even hear it. Let me see, hold on.
Well, that's cool. We'll just continue on and talk about the show, and I sent them the link in the chat so they could click on it.
Anything they want to be.
Okay, how about now,
make
guys?
sure you practice what you preach and believe. Thank you for everything you
That should do it.
Dear fathers, I see you. Dear
Yeah,
fathers,
it worked. I got it. I got it.
I see you.
So this is a clip from the web series Dad-rahpy.
Yeah, I know you said to like write a rap, but I don't know, just writing like this poem just naturally came out, man.
That was
Thank you.
that was beautiful.
Really?
Yeah. Look, I have a hard time like opening up and expressing my feelings like that. It's always a struggle, you know, keeping that stuff inside, you know.
That is tough. I don't know. I guess the more you do it, like with your raps, like the better you get at just expressing how you feel.
You being open and all that, like, if you could talk to your dad, right? No filter. Tell him exactly what you were feeling.
Yeah.
What would you tell him? What would you say?
Honestly, I feel like I told him everything that I wanted to say because I physically went out and looked for him,
Right.
like to find this closure. And it's crazy because like I felt good after that, but now, honestly, I'm at a place where I wish he wasn't there when I was born.
Oof.
Like I don't want memories of him. It would have been better of not having any memories of him.
That was a clip from Dad-rahpy on YouTube. Check them out. Go on their channel. They left a link in the chat room. You can click on it. I know there's a lot of fathers out there. A lot of friends of mine are fathers, and they struggle, you know. So I'm sure you know that. They all struggle. So what advice would you guys give to struggling fathers out there? Maybe people that don't have strong connection with their kids? How could they strengthen that connection?
For me, I mean, fatherhood is. I think allow yourself to be open, to hear your child, and most importantly, just show up. You know, I think fathers just need to really show up, really not be so hard on yourself, because it's a journey every day, and it's something new to learn from, especially when you learn about yourself too. Because not only you are sacrificing certain things from your life to be there for your child, but your child is also learning from you. And I think if you just show up to the job with an open mind and an open heart and let your ego down and be honest with yourself, like, okay, today was a great day. Tomorrow, and then let's say the next day is hard. Let's say today was rough.
Yeah.
You know, allow yourself to go through those emotions, because everything that you're feeling is valid. You know, you're in this journey, and there's not a book that prepares you for this. You know, and there's not a movie that you can watch because at the end of the day, if you do watch a movie, that's someone's life portraying that fatherhood. Just like our show is showcasing our truth within our fatherhood. That's relatable to some people, but there's somebody else that can relate to maybe 50% of it, and then the other 50% doesn't connect because they got a different story that they're living in.
Yeah.
So I think just show up, be honest with yourself, stay open to learn and grow, and learn from your child and learn from yourself. I think you'll be all right. And just
that's great advice.
I also would add communication is important, and with that I mean like hear your child, hear yourself. Don't be afraid to say what you feel.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people don't want to say what they feel because either they are ashamed of what they're going through, or they want to avoid conflict. But once you're honest with them and yourself, then you can be more open to whatever you need to do, and also show by example too. Actions speak louder
That's
than
good,
words.
by example. Yeah, we have a chatter, a good friend of mine, Anthony. He, it's hard to give you full advice here on a live stream, Anthony, but he's saying he has problems with his daughter. She doesn't talk to him, and he doesn't know why. It's a complicated situation, but I feel your pain, dude. It's your daughter, and you want to talk to her, and I don't know exactly what the circumstances are, and I can't really speak to that, but I can see that you love your daughter, and I think that's the first big important step, right? So I guess she doesn't talk. She refuses to, but he's still there waiting. He always reaches out. What do you think he could do? What else could he do besides just be there?
Yeah, I have a teenage stepdaughter.
Okay.
Similar situations, and we do have to take into account that these are different times, and they're experiencing things from a very different angle.
That's a great point, dude.
So we have to take that into account. Like, things aren't the same as it was for us.
You know what?
I
didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Because of what's going on, and it's such an important time when you're discovering and you're learning so many things about yourself and who you may want to be, or who you want to like emulate, or who you want to inspire you, or who you're going to pick things off of. And we had being in non-social situations for such a long time, or being in these awkward situations, it hasn't been like a regular time or development for these kids. So you got to give them space. And when it comes to kids, is like, you can't force things, right? So the all you can let them know is that you're there, and that when they fall or they mess up or they pick the wrong path, that's not the time to say I told you so. That's the time to be like, did you learn your lesson? And I'm here, and show them that you're there in support,
Yes.
for when they do fall, to help pick them back up, because that's what you got to teach your kids. You have to teach your kids how to get back up, because anybody can fail. It's about what you do with those failures, how you learn from those failures, how you use those failures to help propel you, how you may want to fail sometimes to learn more about what you're doing. You have to really try to like establish that, as far as like letting them know, like even us as adults, we make mistakes, and we're not perfect. We're figuring it out as we go too.
Great
know?
point. Yeah,
I will also add too what Jerry said is beautiful. A lesson that I learned as well, and I put this in the show. Write your daughter a letter of how you
I like
feel,
that.
of how
That's,
you
that's an
feel,
actually really good idea.
how you feel, your situation, about your situation together. And like Jerry said, give it time. Like my father was in and out of my life and he left. I went to go find him, right? But I had to give it time. Like he left when I was 12. And it wasn't until I was 29 or 30 years old that I went to go look for him. You know, it should have been the other way around. But I wrote him a letter about my side of the story. And we eventually met up one day. But that even took time for
It
us to
took
meet up.
time for that. Okay,
It took
so
time.
I think
I
that's
think by
really
writing-
great advice, Anthony. Maybe write a letter. Take your time, write it, read
just
it.
show support.
Maybe,
Just show support.
Show,
Just
show support, and just let her know that you're
That you're there.
available and you're
You're
there.
there. Yeah,
And,
and
as a
be there.
daughter- As a daughter, who I had a father that wasn't the type that, like Jerry's dad in the show, he wasn't the type that would communicate with me and check in and how you doing. It was the more of the provider, you know, be there for us, provide, and that's it in that aspect. But it wasn't about the dad, emotional dad. I'm not a girl dad. And if I don't know how your daughter feels, but as a I would have loved for my father to come up to me and be like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" Or even give me advice about guys. Like I would have loved that. So, like when Rick said, write that letter and maybe it'll help her open up.
That's
to
a
you
great
more.
idea. And
And I think also one last thing, write the letter for you, right?
Yeah,
Because you're holding on to this thing, and she needs to go to her own journey. So she needs to write her own letter, right? So write this letter for you, so you can let go of what you're feeling, and so you can see, so she can see both sides. So then when you send it out and give it time, you're not eating yourself alive.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I could have I could have done more. I could have done this. No, you're letting go and letting it go. Because when I wrote my letter, I let it go. If I was gonna be my dad or not, I was like, I said everything.
it was
I had to
it was
say.
a way for you to find some sort of closure.
There you go.
Definitely.
Yep.
And you're
There's
doing
no-
it for yourself at the end of the day.
Hey, there's no manual that tells you how to
Yeah.
be a dad, right? But
Or
here's what you
parent.
here's the one advantage you do have. You remember what it was to be a child.
Mm.
So when you're doing those, whenever you're being a parent, just try to remember what you were feeling when you were a child in that
Yep.
same position. And that's it. And it's not that you're gonna like forgive things or anything, but you're gonna find the right way, or you're gonna find or try to find the right way to try to get as close to that inner child that you had and how you felt in those. Like, try not to forget about that. Go to those moments and remember, like, man, I hated when my dad yelled at me in public. So then now you know that. Don't do that to your kid in public. You hold them off to the side. It's about progressing and making it better. But don't forget the lessons that you learned from your childhood. You know.
And this is perfect example of Dad-rahpy. This is how
There you go.
we-
This is Dad-rahpy right here.
This is how we. will come
You
up
just
with some
spoke
ideas
to
of-
Anthony. I think you just helped him. He said he
Say
started the
something, I'm
letter.
like, "Yo, what about this position? What about that position?" And I was like, "All right, cool. Let me go back to drawing board." And then I'll
Yeah,
type it up.
it's good.
This is
It's
exactly what we
helpful
would
to
do these
bounce
days.
ideas off and helpful to have conversations. And he says he actually started the letter yesterday, no lie. So take this as a sign, Anthony. Maybe
go.
this is an extra sign.
Look, another man talking,
Yeah.
expressing himself, and finding solutions and answers. This is what we want. This is exactly what the show is about.
It's
And
about
it doesn't make you weak. It makes you stronger.
And I think that's an important message that, you know, especially men today, they're so threatened by anything in their manlyhood that was one of the refreshing things on the show. That it's a Latino Afro show. You don't see content like that all the time, especially talking about fatherhood. So it's refreshing to see that perspective.
And you know, we have to also realize, like, we also have to come from this perspective of, like, you know, fatherhood is also a privilege. You know, there's a lot of men that don't get to be fathers. And you know, it's like walking. Not everybody gets to walk. Not everybody gets to do. And that's one of the privileges that, as a man, you have the privilege to be a father, to help mold. See, the connection with the mother is always going to be there. The kid, it came from you have to make that connection. There's no physical connection that you have with your child. So you have to remember that it is a privilege to be a dad and to be helping
Absolutely.
mold this next mom. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of fathers that don't stick around. There's a lot of people that abuse that privilege. But you do have to remember, like, there are people out there that want to be dads, can't be dads because they can't have, you know what I mean? Like, I know there's a lot of women out there, they don't need to be in a relationship and they say, I want to be a mom. And they, that's a norm now. They could be a single mom and do whatever. But a father never, you're still always going to need that connection. You're always going to need that other aspect of it. So.
And bringing up Cloud's point, there's a lot of fathers that will express love by being the provider and nothing else. Right. And so, I think it's important to point out that as men, we need to evolve past that, right? We can provide, but we need to be there. We need to be open to conversations and be vulnerable,
Yeah, because it's helpful. I'm speaking from the female perspective. Like, as a daughter, your father is if you have a dad in the household, he's the first male figure in your life. So when you out there dating, you're dating guys that are either how your dad's treating you, or you're gonna look up to your dad, like, oh, how's my dad treating me? And if my dad's not treating me up to the point, if my dad is not showing me that I need to value myself, respect myself, know my self-worth, then I'm not gonna do that in a relationship, and I'm gonna go for shitty guys. So,
and another thing too that I think with this show that I wanted to show, and this is a lesson that I learned from my spiritual teacher, Guru Enlightenment, as well. And I give her credit in the show because these are lessons I learned working on myself with her. I wanted to humanize the father. We look at our parents, and rightfully so, as superheroes. These are the first people that we come into this world and like, oh my God, they're awesome. And I guess it's a gift in the sense that like they look up to us, and that's great. But at the same time, they need to realize as they get older, I'm a human being. And as a human being, I have flaws. And how I learned to be a father was either on TV, what I saw, and the reflections of other fathers that was around me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't put me on this pedestal, but I have to learn as well on this journey. And I'm going to fuck up and make mistakes. The moment that I looked at my parents as human beings, I let go of a lot of stupid shit that I was like crucifying them for.
Yes.
Because they had a different life. It grew up differently.
I think we all do that
and
in a
my
way.
father, yeah, we do that. And my father, I'm not giving him the excuse of why he wasn't there. He could have changed the cycle and be there, but he learned from his father, and his father learned from that father.
And
it's
just
this
kept passing on.
generational thing that happens. And I think
Wow.
I wanted to show this human that look, we are fathers and we are proud. We're there, but we still have the same fears, doubts, pressure, and stress of like, can I do this? And sometimes I remember at one point when shit got really hard, and I shared this with my wife. It was a joke, but it was also a truthful joke. And I said, I see why fathers leave. And she said, what? I said, I see why fathers leave. She said, what do you mean? I said, this is not for everyone. Some people are equipped. Some people want to learn to be equipped. And some people, depending on your age, let's say if I'd have had a child at 18, I would have been like, I don't want to deal with this shit. I'm out. Yeah. So I could see the reasons why fathers would leave. I'm not giving them the excuse of like, justify like, oh, it's fine, you can leave because of X, Y, Z. I'm just saying there are reasons. If anything, you could possibly leave for. I just wanted to humanize them so people could see, man.
Checking in the chat, Claudwig chiming in. He says, fatherhood is plagued with taboos in the Latino world. That's from Claudwig.
It's important. Look at your parents, like our spiritual teacher has told us. Look at them as humans and see how they were brought up. And don't, try not to. That helps children as adults, us, to let go. And
speaking of speaking of having those memories and the inner child, one of my strongest memories is frying in that hamburger cage at McDonald's. Remember the hamburger cage you went up in? And you were like inside it, and he's like, only children can fit in there. So if something happened, you're done.
Yeah.
And in the summer it would hit, and you would fry in there. And my father thought it was fine.
I totally forgot about
You remember that? You became the hamburger in there.
You could smell pork rinds.
And then
Yeah, when you were-
kids would pile in and you couldn't get out.
Right.
And it was made out of metal. All right. Let's check out one more clip here of Dad-rahpy.
Audio.
I
And
love
let's set it up-
this.
Let's set it up nice. Let's set it up nice.
Okay.
Because last time it just started.
This is
and
episode 3, letters in my rhyme book. Go ahead, Rick, set it up.
All right. So, in this scene, hopefully it has audio, right?
It does.
I wanted to. Okay. So he's gonna start it on point, and then he's gonna. And it's about Jerry. Well, we was talking about finding the courage to write a letter, but he never wrote a letter in his life. So he found a different way how to communicate this letter, and this is from episode 3.
I love this.
Yeah. Dear Pop, I hope you feeling better. Hesitant whether I should even be writing you this letter. Never clever enough to be a literary figure, but music always seems to help my words come together. Gotta do whatever it takes to communicate. Let's not make the mistake of wait until it's too late. Appreciate we ate well, never fell to the streets. You was a hell of a teacher, practice what you preached. At times I was weak, so I tried reaching out. Try to connect emotionally, but you keep me out. There's no doubt in my mind. In another place and time, you be supporting me from the sidelines, grace in prime time, but I'm not 9 anymore. And as much as I like nice things, I needed you more. Tried before, but I finally found the way to paint you the perfect picture. Cause you know what they say?
They say a picture worth 1,000 words, but I never used them. Always heard your side, this time here's mine. I ain't tryna fight, it's my way to make it right. Never wrote a letter, so I gotta use my mic. They say a picture worth 1,000 words, but I never used them. Always heard your side, this time here's mine. I ain't tryna fight, this my way to make it right. Never wrote a letter, so I gotta use my mic.
Optimistically believing that you're still reading. I'm proceeding with page 2, providing the healing that's needed. Stay seated and buckle up, the road we taking is tough. Telling me what you think I wanna hear is not enough, and it sucks. Cause for whatever it's worth, wherever we end up, I really want this to work. And while I'm being honest, know that always deep down, somehow, I'm trying to make you proud. Even though by now, I should have learned my lesson. Taking emotional rejection and used it as a weapon. As I step in the direction that bears no path. New version I never had, letting go of my past. And as far as you and I'll let you decide. Will you respect who I am, what I do with my life? I'm not trying to fight, just trying to make things right. And since I've never written a letter, I thought I'd use a mic.
They say a picture worth 1,000 words, but I never used them. Always heard your side, this time
That was a clip from episode 3, letters in my rhyme book. Just a little taste there for you guys. If you want to see the whole episode, please visit Dad-rahpy's YouTube channel. Check that out. Now, how'd you guys record that? That was so awesome. Did you record it in a studio first and then dubbed it?
Yeah, home studio. So I always been a fan of rap music. I use it as a way to to express myself in my arts and when I perform. And I was a fan of Elmo and his rap, and I was like, yo, he raps too. I'm like, this is dope. So like when Jerry agreed to like do this, I was like, yo, we're gonna go on a journey. Cause like I'm gonna do this shit with so many different elements. So that was an element that I was like, yo, I want him to write something. And I told him about the idea. I was like, yo, I want you to write a letter to your father, explain the whole situation, blah, blah, blah. And I got a beat. And here's gonna be the hook. He was like, all right, bet. And he took his time and then he wrote it. He wrote the version.
I love it.
We got together. And then it was just the rest was history. And then
Awesome.
we went to shit. Yeah, then we went to shoot.
Who made the beat?
I did. Yeah, I created it too.
That's amazing, dude. That was a good beat.
Thank you. So, Elmo, how was your experience?
He gave me this whack ass beat to rhyme on, and then no, it was dope. I mean, we talked about the project. He told me the idea, and really, and even tying more of my character to be more personalized to me, because I know I'm known for the comedy stuff, but I've always dabbled with the rap stuff.
Yeah.
And he knew about that, so he was like, "Listen, I got this idea," and he had. I mean, it was. You have a dope beat like that, you know, when he has a beat, and then he already had like the chorus, he already had the hook. He sent it to me, and I was like, "Oh, this is. I could do something to this," you know. Like it got the
Yeah.
job got really easier, and then being able to like put so much actually into those rhymes, like you know stuff that I felt before and
Yeah.
dealt with and all that stuff. That's why the song came out how it came out. And then you know he's like, yo, I want to include this in the show. We didn't know how we were going to include it, whatever. And then the whole idea with the music
That was
video
great,
came out.
and
It was dope. It was dope.
and it was great. We were just talking about the letter, and we were right into that episode. Victor
Right.
Cruz,
My
Victor Cruz
favorite
joining
part-
us. How you doing, Victor?
My favorite part, I think, like once it was done, like we knew like it was a dope song. Like we was confident like this. I think for me, our favorite part, I think, was mutually, was us recording it, and you know doing different takes of it. And I remember we both had a similar idea of how this should be, and then by us continuing to do it, we had one take that we looked at each other was like, this is how it should be.
Nice.
Right.
That's awesome. So, guys, I just want to remind you that the show is Dad-rahpy. It's on YouTube. Dad-rahpy follows two Afro-Latino fathers who randomly met on a bench at a children's park. As they build a friendship, they confront their internal conflicts and the joys of fatherhood while juggling the obstacles of life. If you'd like to check out this channel, please share and subscribe. It's called Dad-rahpy. You'll see it on your screen. Check them out, man. They're awesome. So, guys, I just want to thank you one more time for coming on the show. This has been a blast tonight. I think you've made a few new fans. Victor says, great show. Love the actor in episode 7 who plays the father in the flashback.
Yo, he was amazing. He was a little bit of a diva. He was a little bit of a diva.
As always.
Was he a
Came in
diva
with
on
a
set?
writer.
Was he? How was he
Yeah,
on set?
Came with an entourage and a writer and all these other things.
4 minutes late.
Yeah.
And they were all him in different costumes.
Yes. Crazy.
Tita was there too. Like a freaking
Tita showed up.
Yeah.
Tita security.
That's awesome. Guys, you guys are super inspirational. That's why I wanted to have you on. You guys set a good example. And is there any final thoughts, advice you'd like to give about your show, about yourselves, about your experience, about your journey?
I said no. Thank you for thank you for having us on your show, and
Thank you.
you know I'm super thankful for everybody supporting the show and learning from it and growing from it, laughing from it, and supporting it. And it's been a beautiful journey, and there's more to come, you know. And
Are you guys planning a
and also
season
the-
2?
we haven't officially like announced that like
Yeah,
oh it's
announced
out,
it, but
but we
it's in
have
the
been
works.
talking about all these ideas that we want to look into. So yeah, we hopefully everything goes.
Okay, if you ever
Goes
need like
great.
if you're casting a hunk guy,
cat
if you need a
dad?
single
What?
cat dad
Cat
hunk,
dad?
I'm available. But I need my own trailer.
I want to say also thank you to everybody who's on the chat. Thank you to everyone who's watched, who's taken the time, the future watchers. Thank you to our cast, our team, our small team. And I also want to say, people, just don't be afraid to learn and grow. Don't be afraid to be honest with yourselves. And don't be hard on yourselves, and communicate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, first of all, thanks for having me back on. Thank you, Laz.
Of course, dude.
Appreciate the support too, that you one of the people from day one has been like, yo, dude, this show, you know.
Dude,
so
I see
appreciate- and
good
I know you're not a
content.
dad.
Yeah.
You're not even a dad, so that's pretty cool. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's like really supported and sent messages and like really taking time out of their day to do reviews. I've seen a couple of reviews on it, you know, that they've really done for us.
That's cool.
And I know it's something different, like especially like I'm bringing people from the comedy world into this stuff, and they haven't really seen me like this, so I appreciate their support in that too. And yeah, man, just tune in, and I want, you know, what Klaus said, man, don't be afraid to express yourself. Really, don't be afraid to be you. I think in the time right now, we're so caught up in like what other people are doing, that we forget about what is it that what is it that you really want to do? How is it that you want to be seen?
Yeah.
And don't compare yourself to anybody else. Be your own thing. And the doors that open up when you do those things, when you really listen to yourself and stay true to yourself, is unbelievable. And I want to thank them for even including me in on this project, because it's been such a blessing in disguise, and it's about something so beautiful. It's about fatherhood. It's perfect.
It is
I want to see
beautiful.
a post about it on Instagram.
You guys want to
Bringing
plug
it
your
over.
channels before we wrap up? Your any other channels you want to plug?
Oh, Jerry got like 3 podcasts, like movies
No, I
coming
just-
out.
We also have a podcast. We went on break, but we also have a podcast.
Don't pause.
Okay, so Cloud and Win have their own podcast, and the name of that podcast,
The Win and Cloud podcast. I'll
Win and
put it
Cloud
here.
podcast, and Jerry has Men on Pause.
Yes, the men on
Say
pause.
that 3 times fast.
Say that fast. And Latin Geeks. Let me not forget to plug Latin Geeks, where we do all
Latin
that,
Geeks?
comic. Yeah, all pop culture, comic.
Dude, I
books,
gotta be
stuff
part
like
of that.
Come
I'm a
through, man.
geek.
It's and Geeks, and that's with an X at the end, because we're all inclusive. So there you go.
I love that, man. I'm totally a geek. Awesome. So Victor saying, Jerry, what a great impression of Laz. You rocked it, Jerry. Jerry, you are trapped in the attics. All for Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry's a podcast whore.
I am.
Once again, thank you for coming on, guys. The chat, thank them for coming on. Chat, I want to thank you for watching us tonight on Lasvik Live. I want to thank the cast and creators of Dad-rahpy. Go check out their channel. Guys, hang tight for 1 minute. That is our show for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining Lasvik Live tonight. Please don't forget to follow, like, and share the show. We love you here on Lasvik Live. If you like the show, let me know. Leave a comment. Let me know what you enjoyed. Let me know what you hated. Let me know. Let me know what's going on with you. How is your life? I would love to know. We have more content coming at you very soon. Once again, thank you very much and have a great weekend.